Oh, this is just too good. I mean, it's my first week uncanceled, and we got Mayor Q as the lead story. It's just too good to be true. It's too easy. It's too simple. Let's start at the very beginning and state this right up front. Make no mistake about it. This man has not committed a crime by any of the information we've learned, and he's not done a single thing that we should be calling for his head or asking for resignation or recall or any of those things. He's done none of that. This guy's too smart for that. He's a lawyer. He's not going to get caught in that trap that we know of, certainly through public records and reporting and things like that. So let's just get that out of the way. And then let's talk about who he is and why this happened and what this is all about. Because we've got this story from The Independent in Missouri that talks about all the grifts that Mayor Q takes part in, including spending $24,000 for he and his former chief of staff and two police officers to go to see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in Phoenix, which sounds like a lot of money, but you cannot go to the Super Bowl for $24,000. It can't be done. There is some accounting that says there was approximately a little over $14,000 paid for tickets. And you can email me all day you want. You cannot go to the Super Bowl for that. That's four people. You can't get in for $14,000. I don't know what this was, whether Mayor Q got a press credential from the Chiefs because he's a dignitary for the Super Bowl. His chief of staff had to buy a ticket and the two police officers go free. But these numbers don't add up. You cannot go to the Super Bowl for this cost. It is more than that. Now, the travel expenses, maybe. The $1,400 plane tickets, you could certainly fly cheaper than that. The hotel rooms, you could have stayed cheaper probably than what they paid, whatever. It's not city money. It's not taxpayer money. It's just the weirdest kind of slimy thing ever, the Contractors Association and the Mayor's Fund. This Mayor's Fund is ultimately and originally designed for one simple purpose, and that was to bring economic development to Kansas City. It started under Richard Berkeley. It paused for a few years. Sly James brought it back, didn't use it for stuff like this, but Mayor Q's a smart guy. He's like, okay, if the contractors want to put money into this thing and I can use it under the guise of, well, it's for development, I guess it's development and outreach for Kansas City that the mayor is at the Super Bowl, but I'm not sure how much business development we got in Kansas City by Mayor Q going to the Super Bowl. So let's talk about what this really is. What this is a lot of people think that people get into politics for power, they want this, and there are certainly those that do that. My experience in the media has been this. Whether it's politicians, athletes, lobbyists, corporations, journalists, sports reporters, coworkers, most people get into these lines of work because of the ease of access to things that are fun and cool. This is a mayor who just had a cameo role in a movie. I honestly believe he'd rather take pictures with celebrities than be mayor. But his chance as a lawyer to hang with celebrities was not going to be acting. It wasn't going to be singing. It wasn't going to be playing for his beloved Kansas Jayhawks. It wasn't going to be any of those things. His entry into the world of celebrity was through politics, where he modeled everything he did after Barack Obama. It was one grift after another. Here's Mayor Q's problem. He's a little late to the Obama party. Obama was awesome for quite some time. People thought the world of him. It's fading every day. Obama really hurt himself during this campaign, and he's out there talking about things that could happen in politics, like one party could use the Department of Justice to try to jail their opponents. He's literally saying this about Trump after what we've just witnessed. Like the shine is gone. The Obama era is over. The way of doing politics during the Obama era is over, and Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy, and Donald Trump are here to prove it. The American voters have said we're tired of it. It may not be illegal, but we are sick of you doing this stuff. We want you to do your job. We don't want you to be there to be a celebrity. We don't care about the photo ops. We don't care that you got to go to Germany for free to see a football game. We don't care that you have the Kansas City Sports Commission and Foundation, which is supposedly a charitable foundation, and the people from that office go over to it wasn't Kuwait, Qatar, to see the World Cup and get to do that experience because they want to get the World Cup to Kansas City. It's all a grift, whether it's charity money, whether it's political donations, whatever it is. You folks need to work harder. You need to do your job more. You need to stop schmoozing, stop being in movies, fix the crime problems, lower the carjackings, the car break-ins, and all of the troubles that go on in Kansas City, including gang crime. Mayor Q doesn't seem when you see him in a movie and you hear about these Super Bowl trips, and again, this isn't illegal. It begs the question, if this is the stuff they disclosed, what has he done that they are not disclosing? You're telling me he's never taken free Chiefs tickets? I want to see Mayor Q with a straight face say, no, I've never been a guest of the Chiefs for free and gone to a home game and sat in the suite with Clark Hunt. I've never done that free. We've disclosed all that, and I paid face value and did all that. I want to hear him say it. The fact is he can't say it. I used to work with people, their favorite time of the year was to go to the American Century Championship in Lake Tahoe, which is sponsored by a Kansas City company. That company paid for all of it. I disclosed that on the air, that we went out here and we were guests of American Century multiple times. I had the CEO on and said, hey, we're your guest. We're here doing this. Great Kansas City company, whatever. I didn't take pictures with celebrities. I didn't get autographs. I never sought that out. I never even asked them to take pictures while I was interviewing people. I have nothing up in my home really with any celebrities. The only thing I have is something that Tom Watson personally gave me for something that I did on a work project with him, and it was a personal favor from one friend to another. And I thought that was really cool, and I have that up. That doesn't make me better than the people who go there just to go to the parties and and I like a good party. I just don't want to hang around celebrities. I find them to be actually pretty shallow, arrogant, rude at times. A lot of athletes are the same way until they're no longer athletes. I've given many names out through the years of people who were, Mike Boddicker, a former pitcher, is one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. He's a great guy. When he was a player, he was one of the biggest jerks ever. And he laughs about it today and said, I did that on purpose. I didn't want the media coming up and talking to me every day. So I was a jerk. Look, some people get in it for the schmoozing, for the photos, to put them around their desk and say, look who I am, look who I was with, look at all these things. That's Mayor Q. That's why he does this. He wants to be a celebrity, and his entrance to celebrity is politics. Barack Obama was the same way. Barack Obama, at one point, was the biggest celebrity on the planet. I don't think history's going to judge him all that great as a president, and I think people in his own party will look at him and say, you've wanted all this stuff after you were president and pushed us farther and farther left, but you didn't do that yourself, now did you? You were deporting 4 million illegal aliens, Barack, and now you're against that? These people get in it for the wrong reasons. And Mayor Q, as far as I'm concerned, that is exactly who he is. He'd rather be in a movie role. He'd rather be a celebrity. And he is a celebrity in Kansas City. And now we've learned how he does it. Takes political donations and goes and does this. And it's not your taxpayer dollars. And it's not against the law. But there is a rule at City Hall. Okay? No free gifts. There's a ban on free gifts. And if that man can look me in the eye and tell me he's never taken free stuff from the sports teams and corporations and things around Kansas City, I'll eat my hat, because I don't think he can say that. All right, one other note here at the start of the show as we get started. We're going to open the phone lines and take your calls. 913-408-7957. I really want to hear from you on that. Later in the show, BJ Kissel will be this from the Kansas City Sports Network. He's also on 101, the Fox's football pregame show on our sister station, and he's a Chiefs insider, and we're going to get all the lowdown on the Chiefs and Chargers on today's show. We got news this week from the NFL and the NBA per reports. They didn't put this out publicly. Both leagues have sent security alerts to every organization in their league, warning players, coaches, general managers, and high-profile people, including ownership, to watch out for migrant gangs targeting their homes, more specifically than anything, while they're playing road games. If they have the wherewithal and want to do it, they should have security at their homes when they're gone. But even when a home game is being played, because that happened here in Kansas City, they can be targeted. Typically, families leave for a home game. Everybody's at the game for several hours. These migrant gangs are going in. It takes less than 15 minutes, whatever they're stealing. They're in and they're out. And now we have the NFL and the NBA, per reports, published reports, that they have notified every player, coach, general manager, and high-profile wealthy person in these organizations that these Venezuelans aren't stupid. They come here. They know who these high-profile rich people are. They scout and watch their homes, sometimes for weeks. They wait until they're playing, and they go in. It's happened in Milwaukee with some Bucks players. It's happened in Minnesota. It seems to be more prevalent in the Midwest than other places, but it has happened in California. And we talk about the drug trade that goes up and down I-35 in this country and splits east and west on I-70. Makes Kansas City the perfect place while you're camping out waiting for the next drug shipment to just go rip off houses. And that's going on. And I think the NBA and the NFL need to go public with this. Roger Goodell needs to answer for this and say, we've told teams about this, and here's what we think it is. Here's what we've told them and what we think it is. Could one of these leagues one time step up and do the right thing and say, you know what, Trump's right, and the conservatives are right, and we got to stop this? And this is where we are. Wouldn't that be glorious? 913-408-7957 is our number. It is a Friday on Uncanceled. I'm Kevin Kietzman. We'd love to chat with you next on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7. All right, coming up in about 15 minutes, BJ Kissel will be here from Kansas City Sports Network and 101 The Fox pregame show. He's a Chiefs insider. We're going to talk a little Chiefs-Chargers right now. We are taking your phone calls, and we're starting today with Stephen in Kansas City. Hello, Stephen. Welcome to Uncanceled.
Hey, Keith, great opening monologue on Mayor Q there. I kind of have something a little to add to it. I'm sure you'll probably agree. You know, the reason it's hands off on Mayor Q is that he was supposed to be, you know, the up-and-comer on the national stage, and I don't think he's realized that his star is falling. I don't think he's maybe not self-aware enough to realize that he's not going to be president of the DNC. He's probably going to have to take down Frank White because I don't think he would take down Mayor Cleaver, but I think Frank White is probably toast.
Right, but Mayor Cleaver is going to retire at some point, and I would think Mayor Q would be a shoo-in for that if that's what he wants to do. But this guy was Barack Obama Jr., man. He had his eyes set on the White House, and what Barack Obama did, and by Mayor Q modeling everything after Obama, all the aspirations, all the mannerisms, everything, the way he talks, all of those things, it's gone. That era's over, and people are glad it's behind us. So he's going to have to reinvent himself.
Well, we saw this yesterday with Bill Belichick. It takes time for someone to realize that their star is falling. We all know that Bill Belichick is not going to be coach of the North Carolina University Tar Heels. He's just using that as a hedge to get Jerry Jones fired up and not renew Mike McCarthy and Dak Prescott just support him. So there's a lot of complicated kind of negotiations. Don't you think Bill Belichick is having some sort of three-quarter life crisis with a 30-year-old girlfriend at
she's 24.
Opening nights?
She's 24.
24.
Hang on. Let me stop you there. Don't insult him like that. She's 24. She could be a grad student at North Carolina if he takes the job. So that would be weird and creepy. The place for Bill Belichick, unfortunately for Chiefs fans, is Cincinnati. That's the spot. He shouldn't be looking anywhere else other than the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow as his quarterback. But that's a discussion for another day. So, all right, back to the phones we go. Here is Cody in Blue Springs. Hi, Cody. You're on Uncanceled. How are you today?
Oh, pretty good. I just wondered if you heard this as well, and I don't like to go off rumors or whatnot, but the whole Mahomes break-in, what I've heard from people that actually live there, the people that got in came by boat. And no one in the media reported that. And I heard also that someone was actually home when it happened. Could be a relative.
Yeah, I don't know. The local authorities are not saying that. It is pretty obvious from leaks through the FBI and things that are going on nationwide that it is believed these high-profile targeted homes are illegal alien gangs.
Well, yeah, but these people came from canoe through the lake to get in.
That makes sense because that's a gated community. It's secure. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's just kind of weird how that stuff doesn't get reported, but I'm not a fan of Quinn Lucas either. I mean, just one kind of story from a family member. Before he got married and he kept that secret, and even his child, the day he was born, he kept secret.
I don't know, but I'm done with that call. I don't know. We got a lot of hearsay and things going on there. This is my first week, man. Come on. Seriously, let's not get the host of the show in trouble if you like listening. That's job number one if you call the show. Let's not get the host in trouble. What the heck was that? I don't know. All right. Here's Leonard and Shawnee. Hi, Leonard. You got a low bar to cross here, my man. I'm pretty sure you can do it.
Thank you very much. Hey, in terms of Mayor Q and hands off and the Chiefs, like you always say, they're both too good to the Chiefs. They're at a higher plane. It's like when you were doing a public service, when you were basically calling out the culture with Andy Reid and the Kansas City Chiefs. They basically, to me, it's one of those things to where they just don't want to go in there and admit it, and they're a head above that. And to me, I look at this to where I just think that something later on will come up with this Mayor Q or whatever. But I wanted to say something in closing real quick, Kevin. what I love about you as opposed to other sports talk radio shows is that you like come to work and you have like a conversation with the callers or with the guest or whatever, and you basically you give a voice to the people out there, and the whole radio station does a really good job. But I mean, I think that people just feel like that you have a conversation with them, and and you'll have people disagree with you, and that's fine. You love it, and I just think that's terrific.
That's very kind of you to say. I really appreciate that, and I thank you for calling the show, and I mean this sincerely. This is absolutely true. Nobody in this business that I've ever met likes callers as much as I do. And the reason I do is I get to learn. I get to hear things and learn. I don't know what that last caller before you was talking about, Leonard. I don't know exactly what was going on there, but I'm going to look today and try to find out what that was, because there might have been some truth to it. I don't know. I just don't know the background. When I start hearing things I don't know, I get a little scared out, which is fine. But if I listen to what you folks have to say, it's like having extra producers for the show. Why would any show host not want to do that?
Well, Kevin, the thing is about it, I mean, this is going to embarrass you, but I mean, you're a legend in this town. And the thing is about it is that, you're giving everyone in Kansas City a bounce to their steps, because you're going to come to work and you're going to say, the way it is. And we love that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. That means a lot. I am a free speech warrior. I will say what's on my mind. If I get in trouble, I get in trouble. We'll see. Jay in Lee Summit is with us. Hi, Jay. You're on Uncanceled. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning. Well, first off, I just wanted to welcome you. You say it was your first week and heard the promos for you, so welcome.
Thank you.
And also, when you were talking about Quentin Lucas and why people get into business, I don't know if you ever heard of Adam Smith, the father of economics, or Milton Friedman, but it brings to mind where they always talk, it's all about incentives when transactions are dealing with people, what's in it for them, why it's their motivations. And I like how you laid it out with Quentin Lucas.
Well, Friedman was brilliant. I'm very familiar with him. I've been amazed in the course of my life for 30-some years, being around a lot of celebrities, athletes or celebrities, or things that we've gone and covered, or people that have come on the show. I'm amazed at the number of people that would rather take a picture with a celebrity than get a pay raise. I'm being serious. Like, I just want to keep my job. I get a free meal here, and I got to meet celebrities and take pictures, and I don't care about the money. I'm like, are you serious? You got kids at home you got to feed. You got college to pay for, and they don't care. They just want to be around celebrities. That's it. It's crazy. All right, appreciate the call. I'm not sure if he was still there or not, but and that's not unique to Mayor Lucas. I just know the personality type. And one of the dearest people in my heart was Jerry Green, who was our original founder at Union Broadcasting in the 90s when we started what became Sports Radio 810. He was as kind and smart a businessman as I've ever met, but I'll be darned if he just didn't love taking a picture with somebody. Like, he had pictures of, he'd met presidents prior to that. He was a Yale grad. He'd met people in D.C., presidents on both sides of the aisle. He had them all in his office. He loved celebrities. He thought I was a celebrity. I mean, the whole thing benefited me, I guess, in the end, but I never really understood it, and I never will, and I think Mayor Q is that guy. BJ Kissel is up next from KC Sports Network and 101 The Fox's pregame show. You're listening to Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7. Well, it's Red Friday. The Chiefs play the Chargers Sunday night at Arrowhead Stadium, and this is a huge game for the Kansas City Chiefs, who I personally don't think are the favorites to be the 1 seed based on the way the schedule plays out and the way teams are playing, but we'll defer to BJ Kissel today. He's head of the Kansas City Sports Network. They're online at kcsportsnetwork.com. They have podcasts, live shows, articles, all things related to Kansas City sports, not just the Chiefs, your favorite college team, all the pro teams. It's all there, and he's on 101 The Fox's football pregame show before every Chiefs game. BJ, welcome to Uncanceled. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing well, man. It's been a minute.
It has been a while since we've chatted. How are you? This venture you're in with Kansas City Sports Network is amazing what you've built. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun to do things with your friends. It's fun to do cool stuff and just kind of it organic. That wasn't this big idea that we thought would grow the way that it has. We're just kind of building the plane in the air right now, and it's fun. It's a fun time to be in sports media with something like this because there's endless possibilities on what it could look like and where it could go.
You probably knew for a long time you were going to be in sports or a sports reporter or sports media in some fashion. Did you ever think you'd be like the boss or run your own thing?
Never. I never thought that I would be in this position. We were joking before we recorded it. You get really good at media, you get really good at one thing, and then you do something like this, and I spend all my time doing things that I have no experience doing now. But no, it's been fun, and I think at the end of the day, like, the people that we did this with and all the hosts and content creators that have with us, they're really, really passionate sports people that create really, really good content. And nowadays, you can create your own platform. You're not beholden to some platform to get your opinion out there, to get your content out there. There's so many ways that you can do it yourself. And luckily, we were able to do that. People support the content that we have. We have local business partners that are supporting us. So, it's been a lot of fun. And like I said, we're building the plane in the air. One
of the things that I love to talk about is American exceptionalism. And I've noticed with content creation, you're much younger than I am. I'm not very good at X, or I'm not even on Facebook. My wife is on there. I don't see myself as a content creator, but I guess technically I am, because I do a podcast and I do a radio show. Mm-hmm. But I don't see myself like the younger generation. What I think the biggest, most valuable content creators on the planet are American. This is entrepreneurship. This is the American way. We've been doing this for 250 years. Like, what is out there and available to people all over the world, the creators in this country seem to be more creative and doing better than anywhere in the world. And that's your generation. And this is just some people used to start a car dealership, or they would invent this product or do this. This is the new way in this country. Content creation is insane. It's unbelievable how many people are great at it.
Yeah, 30 years ago, you needed a lot of overhead to be able to have the power and the technology to reach people with your content and the way that you were doing things. And now YouTube's free. You could start a podcast for free. There's production value and things like that, sure, that go into it. But for the most part, and that was kind of our thing from the beginning, is we didn't have investors. We didn't borrow money. We didn't go into debt anywhere. We operated with what we had. And the idea was, if we have really, really good content, there's enough of an audience that will support what we're doing, and the production value and everything will get a little bit better. We'll get a little more creative with what we do. And you look what we did 4 years ago, the content was good. It didn't look great. Yeah. We didn't have the resources that we do now, but the fundamental part of what we're doing is create great content, be good to the creators, kind of middle out. For anybody who watched Silicon Valley back in the day, build it middle out, make sure you're taking care of the people that are creating the content, and there's not a ton of overhead with the stuff that we're doing. So if you take care of the people and you're good to people, that's the way that this business, at least for what I've seen, that's the way it works.
KCSportsNetwork.com is the website, and you have all the social media presence. They can follow you on Facebook, X, Instagram, everywhere. You guys everywhere?
The website's kind of just a landing page. We do a recap article on there, but most of our content you can find on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We do have a daily Substack newsletter that goes out. But yeah, anywhere you find content, you can find KC Sports Network.
KC Sports Network in that search bar, it pops right up. You're going to love it. You follow your favorite team, too. If you have a favorite college team, they got all kinds of great podcasts and live shows they do there. Let's talk Chiefs and Chargers. Are they going to have the left tackle fixed Sunday night? To me, this is the game of the year. I thought the Chargers were going to be good this year, just based on the coach and how good he is. And they are good, and they might be a really tough matchup for the Chiefs. What's about to happen at left tackle Sunday night? Do we know?
I'm not sure. I have no inside information, no reason to believe it. I don't think that DJ Humphries should play or would play in this game. He's an above-average left tackle. We've seen that throughout his career. There is no reason to rush him back. The worst thing that can happen is you try to rush him into a week 14, whatever it is. This game against the Chargers, he gets hurt and can't play when it really matters. This is about getting him ready to play for the end of the season and being healthy and ready to go. That being said, it feels like the last three Chiefs games we've watched, it's been the same issues on both sides of the ball, that we know what the issues with this team is. And not that it can keep them from beating any other team in the NFL. But the left tackle one, obviously paying DJ Humphries what they did and what was available and what they had, that DJ Humphries knew he had leverage. It's only gotten stronger with what he's doing. But I wouldn't play him in this game, but
it sounds like they might.
They got to get him.
10 snaps maybe?
We saw 15? Patrick Mahomes react on the field, and he's always going to say the right thing, but you can see body language. You can see that he's getting frustrated.
Is it something where you could maybe, like it's 3rd and 9, and he goes out and plays left tackle that snap, and he plays maybe 10 or 15 snaps, or you just don't play linemen that way?
I don't think we've seen Andy Reid do that before, but there's always a solution. And Kevin, you've watched enough. There's always things that you can do to slow him down or to help. It's just that starts to affect the rest of your team. We talked about this on the pregame show, that if your left tackles are struggling, you can chip, you can bring running backs to help, you can bring tight ends to help, but it's sending less guys out in pass coverage. And when you don't have enough guys that can win quickly off the line of scrimmage, and when you don't have Rashee Rice and you don't have Hollywood Brown and these guys that you expected to win quick, Juju's not going to win quick right now. Justin Watson's not winning quick. And so when your tackles are getting beat so quickly and they don't have anywhere to get the ball, and if you have to have the Noah Grays and the Pachecos or the Samaje Perines chip and do these things, they're not out into passes. They're not out into routes that can solve it. So I don't know what the solution is other than getting DJ Humphries ready to go. If he plays this week, I just pray that he doesn't get hurt because he's coming back from an injury. He's not a young player. But this is about him being ready to go week 17 and into the playoffs, not necessarily rushing him to get ready against the Chargers.
We should see a little bit more of Isaiah Pacheco in this game. Patrick Mahomes, I think, has been great the last few weeks, considering how much he's been pressured, and his numbers have just gotten better and better. Nobody's talking about how well he's playing, but this team is 11-1. If anybody wants to take notice, they've only lost one game. What I want to ask you about today is what happened to the defense? I mean, the first 6 or 7 games were like, this could be an historically great Chiefs defense, and it hasn't been. The secondary is a huge problem. They maybe haven't got as much pass rush. Do you see that coming around? There are some parts coming back. What can we expect this defense to be through December and into the playoffs in January?
Yeah, they've got to get the second quarterback figured out. And we saw that last game. They finally made a decision to bench Najee Johnson and to bring in Josh Williams and give him a chance. And Najee Johnson took a lot of flack, and he hadn't played well. He had some big penalties. He'd given up some big plays. He'd missed some tackles, kind of a little bit of everything he had struggled with. But he wasn't the only one that's been struggling in coverage. Shamari Connor struggled in coverage. Justin Reed has struggled in coverage. I don't know the reason other than the guys are older. They might be a little bit tired. They played more football games than anybody else. They had a week 6 bye, and they're about to go in and play 3 games in 10 days, which is only going to make things worse. If that's the case, if these guys are getting banged up and tired. But the pass defense, I think I saw somewhere that weeks 1 through 8, they were ranked like 3rd in the NFL in the DVO pass rankings, DVO pass defense. And then the last 6 weeks, I think they ranked like 29th. I mean, it's not just our eyes. The analytics are telling us that they're giving up way too many big plays. They're missing tackles on the back end. Spagnuolo, we know he's going to be aggressive, but if you don't have a guy that you can trust at that cornerback 2 spot, it's going to change the way that you call games. And we've seen it with Spags throughout his career that he's going to kind of tinker and figure out what he's good at, and he gets late in the season, he kind of perfects it. That's kind of always been, you never judge a Spags defense until Halloween. We saw this year they actually played better and then started struggling. I think most of it, they're older guys, they're getting banged up, and then that number, Jalen Watson injury ended up being the one that the Chiefs couldn't overcome as much as the others, and I think that would surprise a lot of people when it happened. The
Chargers are better than the first time the Chiefs played them. The Chiefs won that game 17-10. 17 or 20 points sounds about right. The Chiefs aren't. This Chargers defense is good, and the way they play limits the number of plays in games. This will be a shorter game than most Chiefs games. Chargers have the shortest game time of any team in the league. Like, they're going to run the ball, keep the clock moving, not turn it over. What wins this game? How hard are the Chargers going to be to beat this time compared to the first time?
Yeah, I think Justin Herbert's healthy. He doesn't have the ankle issue they had in the first game. And, we joked about Brennan Staley over the last few years and all the in-game decisions that he was making and all the struggles that he had. And it was just like, man, how good would the Chargers be if they had a competent head coach? Now they're 8-4, and we see how competent they are, even with an aging defense. That I'm glad they didn't have Harbaugh 3 years ago when they had some of these guys. But, yeah, this team is going to be better. Ladd McConkey is only getting better. Justin Herbert is getting healthy. He's turned the ball. I think he has 1 interception in his last 10 games. They lead the league with only 6 giveaways so far this year. So for the Chiefs, if they don't turn the ball over, I think they have a good chance of winning. If they lose the turnover battle, I don't know if they win this game. And we've seen them lose the turnover. I think they're 24th in turnover differential this year.
And this is what the Chargers are really good at.
Yeah. So the Chargers, if you give them extra possessions with a good, competent head coach knows what he's doing, I don't think the Chiefs win if they turn it over and don't play well. But this is that game. And to your point you brought up earlier, Buffalo's schedule, besides the game against the Lions, is significantly easier than what the Chiefs have. Especially Chiefs' last 3 games are all against teams in the AFC playoff race. So this is, to your point, the biggest one. The schedule came out, I thought it was going to be the Texans game. That was the one I had circled. But looking at it now, this Chargers game is going to be the one, not only figure out if the Chiefs win their 9th straight AFC West title, but also to try and still have a good chance of getting that 1 seed.
Your concern meter 1 to 10 on a third-string kicker, Matthew Wright?
6.
Okay. It comes down to a 49-yarder to win the game.
The way the season is going, man,
everybody's going to make it.
It's going to be a blocked punt return for a touchdown or just We're going to try to figure. Josh Briscoe and I talked about this. We were going to try to come up with the 10 craziest ways that a game could end and see if we can get one right based on the way that this season is going. It's been awesome for Chiefs fans and exercising a lot of demons that we all have based on what we've witnessed throughout our Chiefs fandom.
I feel like the Chiefs need another Bills loss somewhere. They're at the Rams this week. Yeah. Can the Rams beat the Bills? Then the Bills next week are at Detroit, but their last 3 games are in division and they look easy. Yeah. Well, what do you think the Bills do the rest of the way?
I think they lose to Detroit, and I think they probably win out the rest of them. So the Chiefs have one game that they can lose out of the rest of these. And I don't know if that's the case, but with Buffalo, as good as they've played, we still see every once in a while Buffalo shows the other side of it. And we haven't seen that with the Chiefs getting blown out and just playing awful, but it's still in there.
BJ, you're awesome, man. Thanks for coming in. I know we'll get a chance to talk with you from time to time. We congratulate you on the success you're having with KC Sports Network and 101, the Fox Football pregame show. You guys are on before every Chiefs game.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Tell Kendall Gammon I said hi. It's been minutes since I've talked to him, too, will you?
Will do.
BJ Kissel from KC Sports Network on Uncanceled here on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7. Man, it's awesome to be back. Thanks to BJ Kissel for coming in from KC Sports Network. Don't forget to catch the 101, the Fox Football pregame show every week as well before Chiefs games. He's on there with Kendall Gammon and the gang from the Fox football team, which is pretty cool stuff. So we appreciate him being on. Let's talk about some things that we mentioned earlier this week. Yesterday in the monologue, I talked about what's going to happen after this assassination of the CEO of the United Healthcare Corporation and how the media would react, and that they were coming from the left and it was going to be ugly and gross, and it is ugly and gross. I gave you 2 examples yesterday, and here we go. There's nothing uglier and more gross than this from an ex-Washington Post reporter. Okay, this is just disgusting. Taylor Lorenz, you've maybe heard her name. Hours after the news broke of this man's death, Lorenz wrote on social media site Blue Sky, which is for liberals, and people wonder why we want these executives dead, unquote. This is formerly a Washington Post reporter, alongside a report about Blue Cross Blue Shield no longer covering anesthesia for the full length of some surgeries. Lorenz went on to share images of Blue Cross Blue Shield CEO Kim Keck and reposted calls for other health insurance executives to be targeted. This influencer, poster, former Washington Post reporter, needs to be picked up by authorities right now and questioned. After facing backlash for her posts about dead executives, Lorenz defended herself in the comments to Fox News Digital in a lengthy screed where she wrote, "Why we want insurance executives dead," and apparently seemed to justify her comments by saying, quote, "Let me be super clear. My post uses a collective we and is explaining the public sentiment. It's not me personally saying I want these executives dead and so we should go kill them. I'm explaining that thousands of Americans, myself included, are fed up with our barbaric healthcare system and the people at the top who rake in millions while inflicting pain, suffering, and death on millions of innocent people."
Yeah, because killing them will really help. Yeah.
That's a horrible human being.
I can't believe it.
I don't like to sit in judgment of people, but that's just, I knew this was coming. I knew it was coming from the left, and there it is. Trump has given his full and complete endorsement to Pete Hegseth. He did that this morning. He posted it on Truth Social. Hegseth has responded by saying, "I'm in this to be Secretary of Defense as long as Trump wants me." So it seems like Trump's going to the mat for him. A lot of folks thought he was going to bail on him here this week and that Hegseth would be hung out to dry and they'd move on. There was even word that Ron DeSantis may be up for that position. But now Trump, with the full endorsement of Hegseth, saying, let's get this thing done. Have you seen this Missouri Senate Bill 52 or 72? Maybe Pete's talked about this. I don't know. Missouri Senate Bill 72, they're writing it up, allowing citizens to train and license in the state of Missouri to become bounty hunters to find illegal aliens. I'm not making this up. And there's a $1,000 reward. They're going to introduce it. I can't imagine it's going to pass. They're going to train citizens of Missouri to find and report illegal aliens and turn them into authorities or to proper bounty hunters. There's going to be rewards. This is like the Old West. I mean, this is like, I don't know how many people listening have even heard of the show Gunsmoke, but if you like old Westerns or old shows, sometimes I watch the old, I'm too young to have even watched those when they were on. But that's what this was. There's always a bounty, like the bounty for everything. It was a bounty. Go get the guy. Like the shooter in New York, there's a $10,000 reward for information. I don't know what you get if you go kill the person. I think you probably go to jail. But in the Old West, it was a bounty. That's what we're going to do with illegal aliens in Missouri? $1,000. Turn one in. Let's go. I don't know. I can't believe it's going to go that way. I simply asked the question why everybody's fighting Donald Trump at this point, and we've gotten it from many places with Pete Hegseth, Kash Patel, the Gates thing we earlier saw. I don't know why these Republicans do this. I don't know what's in it for them. Joni Ernst maybe is the worst right now in Iowa. She's terrible. For crying out loud, John Fetterman is out there supporting Trump more than most Republicans. He's actually called for Joe Biden to pardon Trump and put an end to all this, saying the New York case was a complete scam. When you have John Fetterman out there publicly doing interviews saying we need to pardon Trump, support him, go with him on this stuff, and you have Republicans fighting him at every turn while he's trying to get his cabinet picks passed through the Senate, we got a real problem. But I'll say this right now. We'll take all the help we can get from Democrats. Let's not forget when Lloyd Austin was confirmed, only 7 Republicans were no. Like the Republicans have always just gone along with everything. Oh, okay. The American people elected a Democrat president. We'll go along. Well, how many Democrats do you think are going to vote yes on anybody for Trump? It's not going to be much to get him confirmed. It's going to be very difficult. Mike Johnson has said, the Speaker of the House, has said he agrees with Elon Musk and will have the full support of everything that he can possibly do in the House of Representatives, that the plan is to take 428 federal government agencies. There are 428 agencies. Like the CIA's one, the FBI's one, but you've heard of like a dozen of these. That means there's 415 more that you don't even know of. The plan is to take them down to 99. They've already targeted them. So they're going to get rid of 329 government agencies, and Mike Johnson says he is completely and utterly on board. I like the sound of that. And Dateline Canada, in Canada, they're starting to confiscate thousands of guns that they're now calling illegal from citizens in Canada, and it could be tens of thousands by the time it's done, that they say are not legal firearms in Canada. I think we know what types of firearms those may be. They're going to start confiscating those from people and sending them to Ukraine. What? You're clutching to the Ukraine war? The thing's going to be over in a few weeks. It won't be long. They'll have this thing settled. It's just crazy. All right, let's play it light here at the end of the show. Mark, what do you got going on this weekend? You got something with the kids? How do you watch Chiefs games? Let's learn a little bit about you and how this is all going to go. What do you got this weekend, buddy?
Yeah, my daughter actually, she's only 12, but she refs soccer games.
Oh, no kidding.
She played soccer from 4 years old till just this last year.
So it's like the 6-year-old kids she refs or something?
Yeah, she does the 6 to 10-year-olds basically. Then she does, when it's outdoor season, she does the side, they call them ARs. So she runs up and down the sidelines getting yelled at by the parents.
You have a future business owner on your hands. If she's 12 and working, I love that.
So she's doing that.
What does she do with the money?
So right now, she goes back and forth. So like the first time she bought something, she wanted to buy a new instrument. She plays the trumpet. She wanted to buy a trombone for herself.
Okay.
She bought it straight off Amazon. She's crazy.
That's awesome.
Now she's saving up for college, she says.
Okay.
So I don't know what college is going to look like in 10 years, but you know what? I like the way that she thinks.
Yeah, I do too. College is great if you know what you're going to be and you need a degree in that field. College is awesome. I recommend it highly to everyone. My kids all went to college, but man, there's just such a growing number of people, trade workers and stuff. They're like, we can go do it this way. I don't know if college is for me. I don't know what college looks like down the road, but I know that it is absolutely a must and essential in some things that people want to do professionally. That's awesome. It sounds like she's really got her head on her shoulders, man.
Yeah, she does. I got to give it to her. She also likes to play basketball, so she does basketball year-round now instead of doing soccer and basketball, reffing soccer, playing basketball. So she's got a basketball game. It happens every Sunday. She plays right when the Chiefs game's playing, so she's playing at 7 o'clock. But you know what? You can watch it on your phone on the side a little bit while watching the game.
Does she want to officiate basketball maybe too?
She hasn't really said that yet, but down the road, if maybe she's not playing on a team, might be something she looks into.
My first job when I was 10 or 11, my first job was at Hickory Road Grade School in Mission. I ran the scoreboard for like the little 6-year-old basketball games in the gym. And the clock, you put me in charge of the clock. I'm like 10. I'm like, what? You couldn't get away with that today because the parents are crazy.
Yeah.
Parents weren't as
crazy.
Parents
to do it now.
Yeah. In those days, the kids walked to the gym and played, and sometimes the parent weren't even there. They didn't get dropped off. The parents didn't come, whatever, but it was fun. I very much enjoyed it. I think I got paid like $1.50 a game or something. But
hey, better than nothing.
I was totally happy to have it. Yeah. Working young is great. A lot of parents don't like the idea, but I love it. Have a great weekend, man. And thank you so much for all the kind words, the people that reach out to me, and all the folks here at KCMO Talk Radio for welcoming me this week. I'm looking forward to it. We'll be back on Monday at 10 a.m. with Uncanceled on KCMO Talk Radio 95.7.